Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And patch 12.1 is coming out next week. So we are on the PTR here on the Marksmanship Hunter, looking at exactly what is going down. What is this release candidate build like for Marksmanship Hunter? Because they did a lot of experimenting with things like uncapping Hunter's Mark, where you put it on as many targets as you want, and then backing out of that. They've been buffing auto attack damage by a significant margin and reworking some of our fundamental abilities and changing some of our icons that you might not be familiar with when you log in and go, what the heck is that? What's going on? Well, today's video is going to dispel all that mystery and go into detail whether or not this is going to be overall positive for the specialization or potentially overall negative for the specialization when it comes to PvP. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, educational and entertaining content, then make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. The first thing you're going to notice upon logging in is that Aimshot has a new icon. You can see this on my 4 button. It hasn't fundamentally changed the ability. They just added a new icon for it. So if you're trying to look in your spellbook and you don't understand where it went, that's where it is. It's a new icon. The second change is explosive shot. Instead of being a time bomb where you wait a little bit before it explodes for a big hit, it's going to be a bunch of small hits all hitting periodically like a dot doing AoE damage, and it looks like this. So rather than waiting and then exploding, it just tick, 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 you know, almost how it used to do it in kind of Wrath of the Lich King style. So more of a dot play style with this one. They have also removed a lot of ways to be able to get instant aim shot, and I had been logging on the PTR periodically throughout the testing phase, and sometimes I noticed that you could still get instant aim shots. Other times I noticed that you really couldn't get instant aim shots, and right now the only reliable way that I've found, I think, and we'll see if I can find anything throughout this testing of this video, but it's playing Sentinel, and when you use True Shot and you use your Sentinel hero ability, you will get an instant aim shot, but that's seemingly the only way to really get it from the testing that I've done. So we're likely going to be a lot more stationary than we were in previous builds. However, there is some trade-offs for that. They are buffing Roar Sacrifice. I don't know if it's been reflected on the tooltip here because I don't think it has. I think it should be higher than 15%. I think it's gone up to 25. I don't remember the exact number, but Roar Sacrifice is supposed to be getting buffed, so it should be more substantial of a defensive cooldown, and obviously the return of Scatter Shot. So we're getting the Scatter Shot back. Maybe we can toss out a Scatter Shot and get some crowd control on enemies with that 3-second disorient. So although we will be more stationary, we'll be able to peel melee off of ourselves more effectively. We'll be a little bit more durable during burst windows as well, with Roar Sacrifice getting a tiny bit stronger there. We still don't have a root, unfortunately. They have also buffed auto attack damage significantly. So in this testing here, we'll go through the damage meter and kind of see like what's the percentage breakdown of certain abilities. We'll flip between the hero talent builds, try and pinpoint exactly what's going to be looking like the best options for it. But at the moment, I kind of wanted to try Obsidian Arrowhead because they had buffed auto attack damage by so much. 15% crit chance at 25% more seems a lot more valuable than 2% haste now. I do wonder if that's their way of trying to rebalance this hero talent selection. So we might be moving over to the Obsidian Arrowhead. So let's just get started here on the training dummy. Let's do some kind of single target, I guess, here to start out. So we get Hunter's Mark on the target. And you'll see here where we get the instant aim shot. So we'll rapid fire to get our buffs up. We can use our Sentinel arrow. We fire that, and you can see that you still get the instant aim shot for that, but that's pretty much the only time that you get it. Resets your aim shot when you rapid fire, which is really nice. Explosive shot still functions as a dot. You can stack them together like this and get a bunch of them going together, but you can see that it's a lot more stationary. You're not going to get those kind of like volley burst windows where you're able to go kind of crazy or go ham with it. It might mean that the aspect of the cheetah, actually we get procced instant aim shots rather than on-demand instant aim shots. Now, as to whether or not I understand how I fully got that, I do not know, but I did just get one, which was pretty nice. So we're not going to have control of it, it looks like, at this point, but you can see I just got another one here. Lock and load is kind of just like a random proc now, as opposed to an on-demand proc from our volley window, which might mean that we just drop volley, unless you want it for specific areas, AoE situations, or you want to apply explosive shot. But these instant aim shot procs are actually kind of fun. Now it's making me wonder where we're getting this from. So let's look at this. So your ranged auto attacks have a 10% chance to trigger lock and load, causing your next aim shot. So it's literally just your auto attacks. So such a heavy focus on auto attacks seems to be the main focus of this patch. Now my auto shot is doing about 8%, which is substantially more than before, I think. The damage breakdown profile is spread out more evenly as well between aim shot, rapid fire, arcane shot, explosive shot, and kill shot. We were getting into the start of the video, and I was thinking, oh my god, is Marksman Hunter dead? Like, we don't get any instant aim shots anymore. We started attacking the training dummy. We quickly learned the details of this, that it has been modified into an auto shot mechanic. So auto attacking is going to be very important, as opposed to maybe before where you could kind of wait between your CDs and then just drop this big burst window and then, you know, not really do too much outside of that, which is their main goal. So they've evened out the damage profile, which looks really healthy. The damage output still seems, I would say, respectively good. The instant aim shots coming from the auto attacks means we're still going to get instant damage on the run when we're getting attacked. We get scatter shot to peel. We get great defense. We get some great AoE here. I'm curious if somebody out here would like let me attack them just to see kind of like what my damage output is at the moment on like a single target player. I just kind of want to see if we can get somebody. These guys are all under geared, unfortunately. A lot of players don't know that you can buy full PvP gear in Orgrimmar. So if you haven't gone to Orgrimmar, you definitely should. I can try to get a duel here just to see, but I think I'll crush that guy because his item level is so low. I really want to duel this guy. It's actually got full PvP gear. But we'll test some AoE while he's kind of AFK there. So if we drop Vol, oh, he's actually accepted it. Okay, we're going to get a test. We're going to get a test. Let's see what Marksman Hunter can do. Let's go, baby. All right, let's drop down a volley here. Huge instant aim shots. Decent chunk of damage. Explosive shot seems to be pumping a bit there. Let's test out the Roar of Sacrifice as well and wall on his burst damage here. Looks like I'm very tanky. Looks like we're doing really good. I mean, obviously, I don't expect him to be the most talented player here on the PTR, but, I mean, my damage output seems solid, to say the least. Very solid, to say the least, in a 1v1 situation there. So, I mean, I was worried about it. People are coming in my chat. They were very concerned that Marksman was going to be dead with the loss of like the volley procs, and obviously explosive shot becoming a dot meant that we're going to be losing a significant amount of burst damage. But they have been shifting all of the classes into this model where you do more sustained damage. And I think with the return of scattershot for peeling melee, and then this kind of like new auto attack way, it might mean that you might be able to play like a haste build. I don't know if auto attacks are scaled with haste, but I feel like I'm getting this auto attack aim shot proc a pretty significant amount of time, you know? Like, it's not like I'm just sitting here forever without a way to do something that is instant cast most of the time. Although, I mean, maybe like right now. Although maybe they want you to actually use steady shot more, so you're not just doing that in your whole rotation. The double explosive proc is kind of nice. Although, you know, 60,000 damage, is that enough? We have about over a million health, so 60k a tick on explosive doesn't seem insane. 100k aim shot crits, rapid fire does a decent amount of damage, I would say, on a health pool. I feel like Marksman Hunter is going to be in a pretty healthy position. I think this iteration might be better designed for the game as well, so now you can't just coordinate that like perfect volley rapid fire, but let's just kind of test out the other hero talent tree a little bit as well, and just see what it's capable of, because it could obviously absolutely crush that one. But I was enjoying Sentinel more, I think, throughout my periodic testing of the specialization. Let's just drop on the Dark Ranger here. So with this one, you would normally drop a volley rapid fire, and it would drop a lot of black arrows. I'm just going to wait a second here for my true shot to come up. So you would like shoot a black arrow, then true shot would reset it. You drop volley, and you do a crap ton of AoE, basically, was the goal with that one. So we drop this, Leyland arrow. Leyland arrow hit pretty decently hard. Rapid fire AoE seems to be pretty decent there. Like 200k burst on the CDs seems pretty gnarly. That, I mean, that burst window feels a little... I'm doing AoE though, and a lot of that's going to be black arrow on the target there. So if you can cleave 2 targets, this might be pretty decent. Also got the double Dark Ranger proc, which is nice. This build focuses more around rapid fire, I would say, than the other one. So it really depends on your taste. I think it also does better into like high armor targets, given the fact that black arrow is almost all magic. And maybe now that explosive shot will be a more substantial portion of our damage profile, we'll be able to play that as well. But I like the rapid fire, the resetting of aim shot. Feels like I'm not getting totally focus capped either on that. And honestly, it feels smooth. I think it feels smooth. Black arrow is a significant amount, so you can see it's a little bit more top heavy, playing Dark Ranger as opposed to playing Sentinel. It's not split as evenly, which might mean this build ends up being more dominant, at least in a PvP situation, just because it's doing such a significantly higher amount of damage than the other build. But maybe there's going to be a little bit of build variety, the fact that you can control the instant aim shot, but I think the rapid fires are just so deadly on Dark Ranger. So for the most part, it's retaining its power position, I think, from last patch. There might be some potential for some new build variants, given that auto attacks give you the lock and load, which feels decent. Honestly, feels like previous versions of Moonkin that I liked, where you'd proc Star Surges. I actually really like that. Scatter Shot, Roar Sacrifice getting buffed. I think Marksmanship Hunter is looking good. You know, like I said, I went to this video. Some people were in my stream yesterday saying that it looks terrible and what happened, we can't control lock and load and stuff like that. But this version of lock and load seems pretty fun. Seems pretty fun. And it's going to reduce the likelihood that you can like pinpoint that exact burst moment to 100-0 somebody, but still have some decent kill pressure like we saw in that Warlock. I would say this is a pretty solid pick. I think Hunter looks very exciting, honestly, overall. I will try to do a review of the other specializations as well moving into the future, but this one's got a thumbs up. I think this one's got a thumbs up. I like this. This looks solid. So thank you guys very much for tuning into the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown, and I will see you in the next one.